What do they do with this guy? Poor guy. Here he is. He's hurt. Oh no, he's dead. And he just keep moving his body around like, here, just get him off the premise. We don't have to pay anything out. It's like this guard has nothing better to do than kick around a dead body. Oh, poor guy. Hello and welcome back, and we are visiting some Prison Architect. There has been some updates to it. Like I said in the last video, I would come back as soon as there was an update, something new to report, and there is. So, in the latest announcement they are actually working on a tablet. They've been working on it for a little bit. In the last month or so, they've had a lot of breakthroughs actually getting it on tablet, getting it to work. It looks great. I saw a short video on it, and so they actually had a site you could go to and sign up to get a free key to test out the tablet version. I actually signed up for it because I'm really interested in it. So I thought, okay, I'll take a look at it. So I threw my name in the hat. If it gets picked, I will try to do a video and get it out there as soon as possible, so you all can see the tablet, see the little minor differences without the use of a mouse. I would imagine there's some little tweaks they had to do here and there. So we'll take a look at those and compare it and see whether or not the tablet is really worth getting, or if it's actually maybe a little better. We'll see from there. So stay tuned from that. As soon as I find out something, I will let you guys know about it, and I'll try to get something up and show you what it's all about. So one of the first changes I actually want to show you. Alright, so let's go to this one. This one is actually made by a fan. It's very impressive, but what I want to show you has to do with these CCTV monitors, door control system. It has to do with those. So I'm actually going to show you what it is. So we're going to go over here to utilities, and one of the things they really cleaned up, and I'm so glad they did this, because if any of you out there with major OCD sees a mess like this, yeah, most people would freak out, and they'd be like, that's it, I gotta shut this game off. That is way too much. That is overload. Look at the mess. Look at this wire mess. So, the guy that actually developed the game, one of the programmers looked at it, and he said, you know what, I don't like the fact that it's right there. He said a lot of people like to have things cleaned up. A lot of people like to see where the mess is going. He says, to me, that's too cluttered. That is just trying to, the needle of the haystack kind of thing. Try to find that one wire, that one whatever, and match things up. He goes, forget it. He goes, a lot of people don't like that. So what he did was, he has a thing right here called tidy wires. So we'll click on that, and as you can see, it kind of takes all the wires out and just says, whoa, we don't want to see that. We want to select it. So that's what we're going to do. We're actually come right here, and we're going to select this one. So what we can do, and here's the amazing part, we can actually take that and stretch it down here, right there. We can take this one, kind of bring these in just a little bit. Maybe bring this one out here. Nope. No, go back over here. Sometimes it will do that. So there we go. We can bring this one right here. do something like that. So there we go. We can kind of clean that up just a little bit. So we can even click on another box, and as you can see, this one, we can go ahead and we'll go ahead and clean this one up here real quick. I kind of like this just because, you know, some people may see it and go, wow, that's a mess. I have to clean that up. I can't let it go like that. So, and you know, sometimes you gotta play with this, and it likes to get away from you for a little. So you can do something like that. And when you click on this, I mean, you can kind of see just a little bit of it cleaned up. I know, like this one, that one needs, wow, that's really out there. So I mean, you can go back through, clean that up. This one's a little not too bad. This one is, wow, look at that one. So just find, I mean, you can just find like a wire and call that your like go-to. So this is something, I mean, I like it. You can go back into your prison if you have a lot of this and really clean it up. You can also kind of clean it up as you go, as you build a new prison, so it really looks good when you go back and try to figure out, okay, wait a minute, I'm missing a wire, I'm missing something, where is it? And so it really helps you find stuff out a lot later. Now, one of the, thank you for fixing this is great moments is when they talked about the new intake. Before, when you got prisoners in, you just got in numbers. That's it. With the new prison intake, what they decided on doing was they looked at grants. Now, what does grants have to do with intake? Well, I'll tell you. One thing they did is they looked at the grants and they said there's only a finite number of grants. So after the grants run out, that's it. There's no more extra money coming in for doing things to your prison. And for some people, they would have to wait until their, you know, right up here, their daily cash flow would be high enough to go into their bank balance. And then they would have to rely on that in order to progress further in the game or to do what they need to do in the game. Such as programs, additions, adding on to the game, building more cells and stuff like that. So the problem is, eventually you get to a point where it's just a waiting game. It's not very fun. A lot of people don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like waiting game style, you know, play. You know, just sitting around going, okay, when's my cash coming in so I can actually do something. I like to stay active, stay busy in the game. So that's why I really appreciate when they did this. They put up a new intake, and here it is right here. So what this means is, here's your different category. You have your minimum, medium, and maximum security. Your payment per prisoner is right here, and here are the available. As you can see, I have 60 available minimum security. Medium, I have 75. Maximum, I have 57. Right now, the ratio is closed, which means I am taking none of those in. So while I'm taking none of those in, those numbers keep going up. They will continue to go up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause it here real quick. Alright, so what this does is it really helps right here, your daily intake. Helps for, like, right here, I have a small prison. So this small prison can't handle a lot of people. So I'm going to say, I want, let's see, I just want a few. So I want maybe, let's go 10. 10 prisoners. So right now, what I'm getting, 10 of the minimum security, which will be $3,000, one-time payment. And what it means is, once I accept these 10 people, I will get $3,000. Then in 24 hours, if there are another 10 available, then I will get $3,000 when those 10 arrive. Now let's say I want medium security, but I don't want a lot. I just want a few. So what this means is, of the 10 that I'm getting, the ratio is going to be split so that I'm getting more minimum than I am medium security. Well, medium security prisoners. So every 24 hours, or in the next 24 hours, I should say, I will get 3,600 for these 10 people. Then the next 24 hours, if those numbers are available again, I'll get the same amount. This is what I really like about it. Now, when my grants run out, or as I'm building my prison, I'm getting a steady influx of inmates. So now I'm getting a steady influx of payment. I can always go through and I can always adjust this as needed. So right now, my prison can't handle maximum. So right now, of course, I would close maximum, and I would just open up to minimum and medium security people. I would take 10 or whatever I can do. Right now, I have this whole blank space right here next to this kitchen, and I could probably take a few more. Right now, I am looking at. Oh, you can also move this finally. Thank goodness. That was an extra added. Right now I have 115 spots available, 69 people total. So, I could actually bump this up. Take a few more. Increase the ratio just a bit. And maybe take on 15. So right there I would be getting 10 medium minimum and 5 medium. So the ratio would be 5 to 10. 5 medium for every 10 minimum. So, and of course that is until these numbers drop. It could be I keep going, and these numbers could be like a 1 or like a 5 and 1. So I'll get like a 4 and 1 ratio next time. So these will vary if you continue to take people in. Sometimes if you have enough money and you can do it, close these off and let this fill up, then open it up and then take people in, and then you can fill up your prison and have money when you need it, and then close it off and let that populate back up again. So that's the new intake. Love it. Great idea that this guy had. He was talking about it, and he said he got a lot of people saying, wait a minute, once my grants are done, that's it, no more money. And he said, well, how do I keep getting them money? So then he came up with this idea. So this was a great idea. I really like it. I like the ratio. I like the available does keep populating if you're not taking people in. So that's great. Now, one thing I did notice, looking at some of these characters here, was that this guy is, well, not that this guy's wearing a Santa hat, but let's take a look at the different models. Look at his glasses versus, this guy's face here. So that's when it dawned on me that these people, he changed the faces and the character models of those who prepaid the game, and they paid a little extra to get their likeness in the game, their name. So this Mark Morris may be a real person, and you can tell the difference, especially their portrait right here versus this portrait. That could be it, or another thing it could be is they're slowly changing out the portraits, and so they have to go through and actually may have to change them by hand. I don't know. They probably could dump this artwork out and replace it with this artwork. Look kind of nicer. So after looking real quick, there are no others, but I thought that was really nice. I kind of noticed it by accident, really, when I was playing this, and I thought, wait a minute. So I would say that those are probably the people, like I said earlier, those are the ones that probably paid for the game early and got some extra stuff. So next thing that was talked about was the parole system. And here it is right here. Instead of the warden, you only have one warden. You can only have one warden. And so one of the things that they talked about was if the warden's busy with one, and doesn't matter how many you have set up, you have to wait for him to be done. Then if he's tired by the end of the second one and you have like 5 more, he's going to go rest, and then time's going to run out and those people are going to go away. So he thought, that's kind of unfair. The next thing they talked about as well is the penalties. A lot of it, he said it was a roulette game. It was just roll the die here. And of whether or not the person was going to offend or not. And they kind of looked at the price and they thought 10,000 was really steep as a penalty if they offended, because if they offended right there, just like that. And so he thought, well, that's kind of steep, especially the way the economy is kind of set up in the game. That could really hurt and really drown a player real quick. And so he thought, well, that's kind of unfair. And another thing that people were finding out real quick, under the policies, you have the parole cutoff. Well, come to find out, 23 was the magic number. It didn't take. He said it didn't take people long to figure out that 23 is the magic number. If you set it up to 23, that was the more or less always landing on your number and always winning. That was basically beating the house. And people found that out and were constantly, getting money and all that. So he decided to ditch the 10,000, and instead you are awarded 3,000 if the person doesn't offend. If they do offend, you don't get anything. You don't get the bonus. But if they don't offend, you get the money. And so it's right off the back. So as soon as they're released, right then and there, as soon as they're off the screen, they will either offend, in which case you don't get the 3,000, or they will not offend, in which case you will get the 3,000. So I thought that was pretty neat. I kind of agreed with him, the way he was talking about it and the way he was acting, that kind of hurt the player a lot when the person offends, and it was a huge penalty, and for a lot of people it really hurt them real quick, especially early on in the game if you were able to get parole board up and running. So I kind of agreed with that. Also, one thing that was fixed, those that have inmates who are violent or prone to violence or stuff like that, a lot of them would put them in right here in solitary. And so what they were doing was they were putting them in there, and then they would just compound their time in there. They just keep putting them in there for longer and longer and longer time. And then eventually they would starve to death. Well, they can't do that now. The inmates will actually be fed by the guards now. You can't just put them in there and keep punishing them up like right here. You can't just keep saying solitary for 24 hours, another 24, and another 24 until they die. So that was actually fixed. So they're actually fed by the guards. The guards will actually come in and take care of that. So no more doing that if you're the ones who do that, actually. So all right, so that's some of the updates and some of the stuff in a nutshell about the upgrades and the new stuff in Prison Architect. This guy got released. Hey, early release reward. But anyway, like I said earlier, this is some of the updates, some of the things that are going on in the game. So stick around. Next month, they should be releasing some more information. As I said earlier in the last video, they are trying to push to get this out of alpha by the end of the year. And so far, they're doing a very good job. They're putting a lot of things out. They're fixing a lot of other stuff. And thus far, this game looks really, really good. And it's only getting better. So stay tuned and watch for updates. I am Tanar. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Also follow me on Twitch. I'm on there every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 6:30 Central. So watch out for me there. And until next time, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.